Hey, hey, you look nice and warm and
Right.
that's in that comfy. That's what I wear to softball games when it's cold outside. In that 32-degree weather, Amy, I forgot to mention I also have a comfy on too that looks like that.
I was thinking about that this morning when I got up to go to the gym, and I
Yeah,
was like, "Who want to be out here in this weather? Like, just who?"
right. And those are the people that are saying they'd rather have that literally are probably just walking to a car or into a store.
Exactly.
They're not spending time outside.
Right.
Like, nobody's asking, choosing 32 degrees over 105. No, I'll take 105 all day.
Thank you.
Ain't no way. I'd rather sweat myself off and then, because it's
Same.
harder for me to get warm. I'm cold in my
Right.
house. Like, even in the summertime, I have a blanket on me. It's harder
Right.
for me to get warm than it is for me to cool down. I'll jump in a pool, turn some air conditioning on, whatever. Like, yeah,
Exactly. I was thinking to myself, they just talking. They are
right.
just talking.
Like, what is the problem? Give it another second or two for some people to join. I'm excited for this watch party. Watch Black Cake.
hmm I saw somewhere that maybe 3 episodes are up already.
Yes, and then the next two are like pending or something like that. Yeah. I looked at it today because I was like, well, let me make sure that it's, up there and make sure I can get to my Hulu and all that good stuff. So I had it all set up today and I was like, yes, 3 episodes. And then, yeah, and then the next one is November 8th. So then it's going to be one a week after that.
Okay.
I hate that. Oh, so each episode, I'm looking at it, is the name of one of the characters.
Oh,
So like episode one is Covey, episode two is Coventina, episode three is Eleanor, episode four will be Mrs. Bennett, and then episode five will be Mother. Oh, let me let these people in. I'm over here. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Slowly but surely. Got to keep an eye out for time so we can have time to switch over to
yeah.
teleparty. Uh, all right. Erica, are you on here? Yeah, you're on here twice. Now you're on here once. I think Erica, she had problems last time trying to connect. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
my
go.
app crashed as soon as I logged in.
Oh,
And then it was like, "Do you want to send a report?" So I'm only in here once now, right?
yeah. Yep. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. All right. Let me let Jess in and then we can go ahead and get started. What's up, Jess?
Tried. Hello.
Curls popping?
All right.
We're doing something. I saw a
Hilarious.
video today. The girl was like, I look good in the front. Then she turned around the back and was like, no, look at the
All
back.
mad at yeah.
The front is doing, but the back is not.
I am this. Okay, so I guess Zoom had an upgrade because there's all kinds of like buttons at the bottom.
hmm
AI companion, summary. I'm like,
It'll
where
take
the
notes now
yeah, like where's the chat? That's what I was looking for. Okay.
on the more.
Yeah. Oh, more people coming in. Hang on. Yep, I see it now. But I'm like, the chat should be one of the primaries. I don't care about whiteboards and notes and all that good stuff. All right. Anyways, we're here to talk about The Street by Anne Petry. This book has been on my list forever. It's actually I knew it was going to be a book club selection. It was just more of actually fitting it in there finally. And I'm so glad that I finally did. Pleasantly surprised for me. It was definitely a 5-star read. Um, I just feel like she was so ahead of her time in writing, like in her writing and the way that she wrote it and having the different perspectives of the different characters. Because we see that trend a lot now where each chapter follows a different character in the book. And I love that about this. I love that about current day books. So I was surprised to see her books kind of follow that format, even though they weren't labeled as, this is such and such chapter. You kind of had to figure out who they were talking about in the first, paragraph or so. But yeah, I really, really loved everything about this book. What were y'all's general thoughts?
I just loved the way she expressed and described things. I'm like, how did you think of that? I was highlighting stuff. I'm like, these highlights are not going to make any sense to anyone but me. And I really was just highlighting it because the language was so beautiful. And I'm like, this was 1944. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, it was beautiful. I will definitely be reading some more of her work. And like you, I'm just upset because I've had that book in my Kindle for 2 years.
Ever, right?
Yeah.
One of those ebook
yeah,
deals.
One of those ebook deals. Yep, it was.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna check out the Narrows, since Jess recommended that, because it sounds like it's just as juicy, and it may get read this year.
It's probably gonna make some of y'all mad.
Oh, I like
books though that I love books like that though that make you feel
the writing is
it
good.
just starts off like, wait, what? But it's so timely. And this was a reread for me, and it was just as like I remember the first time I read it, the first chapter, I was like, oh my God, the way she's describing the wind, the personification,
and the trees, and all that,
and how it was going. Oh my goodness! So as soon as you said it, I was like, I don't mind rereading it because I thought this book was, like you said, she's so far ahead of her time. But in the same breath, it's scary how relevant and current it still is, even though it was written 80 years ago. Yeah. And that's the Narrows is the same way, as so many things have not changed.
Exactly. Not changed. It's like a vicious cycle. That's what I was telling someone. It just keeps happening and keeps happening. If she was noticing this stuff in the 40s and now we're in the 2020s and it's still happening.
Still same stuff. Yep.
Yeah. I really loved it. Like there was the soup. He just really gave me some like creepy feelings from the beginning, the way he was watching her, and I was like, oh, there's something about this guy. Like just from jump, the way she described him, I really was not a fan, but he just had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of issues, and he was paranoid as all hell. But like for me, the ending and what he did was just,
it was horrible.
Yeah.
I hated how. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm done.
I hated how everyone on that block plotted on her. Like everybody had an agenda. Everybody wanted something from her just because she was beautiful.
Beautiful.
I hated that so bad.
Yeah, she couldn't just be. There was always something.
Yes, and I think, like you said, that resonates even today. Like people just, just individuals being plotted on. Just it irked my nerves so bad.
The new social media.
Yeah, that's true. And the suit was so delusional. Like the whole time I read about him, I was like, this dude is so delusional. Where is this coming from? And I kept waiting for him to do something to her. But towards the end, I was like, she's going to kill somebody. She is going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
It was so much. It was like everybody was against her for no reason.
Yeah, I didn't, Keela, I didn't see it either.
I didn't see that coming.
No, I was shocked. And I honestly, like, Boots, I actually kind of liked him in the beginning when she first met him, and they were kind of like courting, and he was digging her and she was digging him. But then it was just kind of like everybody lost their damn mind in that book. And it's like money. Just...
I knew as soon as she asked him for that money and he was like, oh yeah, come back tomorrow. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Don't even girl, this ain't right. Something ain't right.
And she
how
even realized that herself that something wasn't right. She was like, that was too easy.
right.
From the beginning, she realized something was right. So that was kind of her fault too. She knew that he wanted something for her. She was going to hold out and she was going to get what she wanted, and it like backfired on her.
Oh,
But
I didn't
that
get that at
survival
all.
instinct to save her son. That's all
Right.
that's all she was
Mhm.
concerned about was her
Mhm.
whole purpose and everything was Bub.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
for someone else to be trying to get over on her once again, because the lawyer could have said, "Ma'am, you don't even need a lawyer
Yep.
for this." So once
Yep.
again, people putting her in a position to have to sacrifice herself for her son
Mhm.
when it wasn't even necessary.
and
I
I
think
think
she
I
was
that's
hated
trusting of
that
a lot of
lawyer so
people.
much for
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
I remember
And-
the lawyer said that when she left, he was like, she don't have to pay me to do this, but this is like picking up $200 off the ground.
Yep.
This is
Right.
That's right. He
Yep.
was like, I'm gonna take that money. I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
God, you don't know how hard she's working to even try to find that money.
Yep.
Right.
And I
I
think
think
because of her love of her son, that's what surprised me about the ending, her just walking
Mhm.
away from him. And like, I'm like, that poor kid is just sitting in juvie, like
Yeah.
not knowing that she's never coming back. She's going to start a new life. Like, I mean, I guess back then for me, there wasn't forensics and things like you walk out of
Mhm.
that apartment, there's no cameras. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's really gonna know that you've murdered this dude. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Because honestly, what would have happened is Junto probably would have come back, came in that apartment, and this man was dead. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he would have known that she was there,
He
but
would have known, but he would have used it as leverage, another
against
thing to
her.
get her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. Yeah, it was all sad. I didn't like Junto had a lot of power too, because I'm like, you have the lady,
Hedges.
yeah,
Miss
who is like,
Hedges.
yeah, Miss
Girl.
Hedges, like who's trying to get,
Yeah.
work for him and get him stuff. She was just nosy.
But even like you said, to get her and then what? They're not gonna want her for life.
Right.
It's
Right.
for a satisfaction of a pleasure, and then they were gonna be done with her. All
Mhm.
of them.
Yeah.
None of them were going to. They weren't in love with her. They just wanted her.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that
I
sounds
think
like a
she
lot
was
of money.
very trusting of, this is how I want my life to be. I work hard to get what I want. And she was trusting that somebody is going to help her get there. And somebody's not going to try to use her because she put so much into trying to have a good life and get away from the street. I mean, she even said, like, in her interaction with Boots,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Boots.
Mhm.
She felt like she should leave, but she's like, something is keeping me standing here. And I think it was the hope of, okay, somewhere I'm going to appeal to this man that I'm really trying to work hard to do the right thing and to get this the right way. And he's not going to use me or take advantage of me.
Mhm.
I did not finish the book. I'm gonna finish it. But did she ever get a pay? How much she was going to get paid for these performances?
Singing?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
No.
Until stop
No.
that.
Okay, because I got to chapter 10 where she had her first performance, did great, and then the bouncer said, okay, Junto wants to see you. So they didn't talk. And so I was just like wondering, like, how do you perform and don't know how much you make him?
It was because Junto wanted her. So that was the leverage
Yeah.
that they were trying to hold on. Like, you'll eventually get here. But that's what they were trying to hold over her head so that Junto could eventually be with her, or get with her, rather.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's-
And she never performed after that. That was the only performance.
Mm-hmm.
After
Oh.
that, yeah, when he told her she wasn't going to get paid,
Right.
and she was like, no, and then she
Yeah.
got mad. Yeah.
I commended her for that.
Yeah.
Just walk away. These people are using you. It pissed me off that so many people were trying to use her. Like,
Everybody.
I blame her husband. That's it. That's how it
Yeah,
all
he started it.
Don't you think it's
He
crazy?
did.
Don't you think it's crazy as the super was? Like everybody could see it who talked to him, that it was really weird that they hired him. I wonder what they had, what he had over them to let him work there. I think that Lady Mrs. Hedges, I think she was fully aware that something was wrong with him.
How crooked he was, yeah. Because they had their little
cheap labor. Like you put somebody who's willing to live in a basement.
Nobody was,
you know,
and as long as they were getting their money, they don't give a shit what he was doing. Like they were getting their money on time from him and what they needed, so he was getting it done. That's all I cared about. At the bottom line is the money.
How did the what was her name? Men or when she got? How did that go with the super?
She ended up leaving.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get to the part where she went to like the voodoo doctor?
Right. And she
yeah. She ended up leaving.
Yeah, but the voodoo stuff worked. Yeah, the voodoo stuff worked. That cross
on that bed, he was like, nope. Stay away from me. Yeah, that cross had him tripping big time.
Yeah, that's when I knew something really was not right with him.
But even in that, she didn't want him. She just didn't want to get put out of the house. That's all.
Yeah.
She didn't care about him. It was survival. Everybody was just trying to survive.
Right.
Yeah.
He was just trying to work and get her teeth. That's all. She's wanted teeth.
I almost got my money for my teeth.
Right.
her out, but when she wasn't home, when she was at the root doctor, then all of a sudden, she left me. Like he's upset that
he felt some type of way. Yeah. But isn't that's how most men are, right? They don't give a shit while they're with you, and then all of a sudden they lose you. They see you living this best life, and it's like, oh, hold up now, like I feel some type of way.
That was the husband too, though. I mean, she's the one earning the money. She's got to be away to get the money, but you taking up while she's away, like
he wanted to control. He wanted to control the timeline.
Like that lady gave her sound advice, like, no, you stay home. Don't let him stay home. Like you let him work when he's young. Yeah.
That's right. He'll never work.
And he never did. Look.
Never did.
I got another woman cooking in your kitchen. Yeah.
I don't put them out. I don't think I would have left. I think I would have put them out.
Her daddy was a trip too. Pop.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude getting the kids taken away, he caused a lot of problems too. Like all the men in your life are just drama.
Don't you think she should have had control over that because she allowed him to come there? I know that was her father, but she know you can't take and force the kids and do whatever you want to do. She know what the rules were. Even that trifling husband of hers warned her.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was throwing parties when she was away, and then she finally got put on that it was happening.
But if you remember, but I don't know if you know or not, you're not supposed to have other adults in the home when you got foster kids in your house.
They didn't care back then, probably. They were just trying to put black kids somewhere and give them $5 a week. I don't think they were really caring.
But he was another mouth to eat off of that little bit of money because they were using the kids' money to take care of themselves. That's why the husband felt comfortable not going out to work because they were using the kids' money. So there's another mouth to feed off of those children's money. And she knew he was a drunk. Now, if I don't think they did care about that then because they took him away when it was reported that he was drunk and he had that party.
Well, once they called the police,
But didn't she try to start being at home because they told her he was having parties? I mean, that's bad.
She tried to.
My daddy can come wherever I am. So I guess she's trying to take care of her dad because she knows he has an illness. But then she tried to start staying at home too to keep him from having the parties and messing up things for the kids.
And then her husband started trying to accuse her of having a boyfriend and everything else. And she's like, I just can't win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold on to this piece of a man and go out here with him to Harlem. And then this is what now I've lost it all.
You know that movie Claudine? Way back, I don't know what year it was, but do you remember the movie Claudine?
With Diane Carroll?
Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones.
Yeah, one of the women she was riding on the bus with when she was going into work. She said having a dirty pair of drawers to wash is better than having no drawers at all.
Not.
Absolutely not.
No.
And
No.
First of all, I ain't
Listen.
some
watching
things you
nobody
cannot
Jaws
clean. She could
anyway.
not clean that man. She could not clean her daddy. She couldn't
Yeah.
clean. I'd rather just be free.
Yeah. Let me walk barefoot if that's the case. Listen,
Mm-mm.
I'm good. Wow.
But she
Yes.
probably felt some kind of loyalty to the dad because he was the one who put them onto the scheme anyway to get all the kids.
Yeah.
So that's probably why she was like, well, that's my dad, and we wouldn't, be able to keep the house without him and all this stuff. So I don't know. She just, bless her heart, all the men were horrible.
All of them.
And daddy wasn't just having parties. Daddy was a moonshiner, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
daddy was making
Yeah.
money off of those parties, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And wasn't contributing back.
But
Yeah.
he's drinking it all up to get that drunk.
She definitely did not have good examples of men around her, which
I
in
know.
turn why she saw Boots as being like, opportunity.
Once she showed up and Boots said Junto or Junto was in there too, I said something's gonna happen. That's when I figured she's gonna kill somebody. She's gonna kill somebody before the end of this book, because it's one thing after the other, and at some point she's gonna explode. I fully thought though that once she killed him, I fully thought she's gonna take his money and she's gonna get her son out and they're gonna run.
Mhm.
That's the first time I got mad at her.
Mhm.
Am I making this up, or did when she went into Boots's after she killed him, she went into his wallet? She didn't take all the money, right? She just took some of it.
She just
Oh,
said,
she only took
Right, yeah.
half.
Take
I was
it
like, girl, you
all.
couldn't have took it all at this
Taking a
point.
whole
Especially when you decided to leave and move somewhere else.
Mhm.
Like, just take it all.
Gotta run now.
I felt like she felt like I was finally defeated by this street, but I can't. But I gotta hold on to this shred of
Dignity.
slight decency that I still have left in me. I think that's why she left the kid, because she was like, I'm the street now. I have turned into everything that I was trying not to be.
Right. And she knew that she would be put in jail and then her son would go into foster care. I thought she was I thought she thought it was better that
Gone
she
anyway.
totally disappeared so that he would know what became of her.
Yeah.
But it was a good read. It was a really good read. This is my second time at it. The first time I did it on audiobook and I was just half listening. I missed a whole lot of it and didn't go back and rewind it. But when I read it this time all the way through, I was like, oh, this book is really good.
Yeah. I needed more. That cliffhanger was, I need to know what became of her life after she left, since she abandoned her child. I needed to know what became of him, what happened, what's his perspective while he's in jail, in juvie, whatever, and his mom hasn't come back. Like, I want to see how things panned out for both of them specifically. I wanted to know when Junto came back, what happened once he discovered this dead body when he came back at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it was. There's just a whole lot of pieces that just weren't wrapped up for me that I wanted to see more of.
I like books. I like books that end on cliffhangers that allows you to use your imagination. I know that a whole lot of us have a problem with that, but I like books that end like that. Everybody has their own ending and what they wanted to happen. I like books that end like that.
I think the only thing I didn't like was when Bub was in school and the teacher there was like a couple of pages of the teacher and her thoughts of the kids. I was like, we could have
I
just
hated
let
that
that
too.
part out and then give us what all the things Renee said, because I didn't want the cliffhanger. I wanted to see what happened. So that was like, I guess my only thing, but I love the book.
I was
just
really
think that
annoyed. Like you, I was really annoyed at that teacher. I wanted to woof up to him. But it does happen. It does happen. Those teachers be in our neighborhood with our kids and they don't be there, can't stand us, are afraid of us. Just like the police officers. That's why they end up shooting kids, because they're afraid of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that still happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think she may I thought she included that because she wanted us to see more of how Bub's life was. And, you know, he had it crazy at home, he had it crazy at school. The poor child just everybody he was not.
Yeah, he really had a
Everybody.
hard life. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And his mom
She
told
really
he didn't mean to, but she kept mentioning that money, and then that and he
yeah.
went and got out a shoe shining job, and she yelled at him about that.
And hit him. I was mad with her on
I was mad
several
with her
occasions.
about that too.
And when she left
did
that
get mad.
baby,
I forgot about that. I did get mad at her for that part.
Yeah, the baby go to the movies by himself. I'm like, it's 1944, and you sending your baby to the movie with
By
a quarter
himself, right.
or whatever. It's just like, oh my goodness. And then you leave, and he gets back, and you're not home, and he's okay with it. And then you go fuss at him because he got a nightlight on. He's 8.
He was scared of the dark. I was so sad. His little part where he couldn't go to sleep.
It was crazy to me though. You're not scared to go to the movies by yourself, but you were scared to go home alone where you're protected and in, you know, your own surroundings. Like that
But
was
it's the
crazy.
dark and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I assume that he's outside walking in the dark.
But he could look across the street and see somebody else, not just pitch black.
Yeah, because you know people were in the streets because it was the street. People was in the streets.
I started noticing
hotness.
I need to finish.
What other characters I liked.
I wanted to see what else happened with men. I was invested in her story.
I was hoping men would come back and somehow save Bub
in another book. I actually liked men. I
Yeah.
actually liked her.
we really need pediatrics.
I was like, okay, Min knows she had the key made. She's gonna figure all this out, and she's gonna testify and it's gonna say Bub.
Right.
And the three of them are gonna get out of the street together.
Yeah. I was proud of Bub when he denied that opportunity at first. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But then again, she kept harping on the money and how broke they were and all this, that, and the other. And so he broke down. I was like,
when he agreed to it, I put the book down for a day.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't get back. I was
I
like,
can't.
I'm not finishing this book. I am so mad.
Yeah, it was a hot mess. And then the Mr. Cross character, that was the white man in the singing who offered to pay for her singing school or whatever, her fees in exchange. All these men, man.
I kept thinking, like, if they made this into a show or a movie, like, who would play her? Because the way they described her and how beautiful she was, and everyone just seemed to be mesmerized with her. Like, who could play this part?
Right.
Well, I don't know who would play her, but does anybody watch 90 Day Fiance?
Can't do that.
Because there is a man, Ed.
Yep, I watched it.
Ed, did you see Ed when you read Junto?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, Ed can play Junto.
You know who I picture for the suit though? Carl, who was Florida's boyfriend on Good Times and then was on when the Brewster Place. That's who I picture for the suit.
Moses Gunn? No, not
Yes.
Moses.
He plays a good creepy guy, girl. You know he does.
But he gotta be by now. Is he still alive?
I think he's been dead. I think he's been dead.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah,
is that his name?
Moses. I think it's Moses Gunn. I've been given.
He died in '93.
Oh, Lord, he big. Yeah,
wow,
but that's
I
who
didn't
I
know
always.
it was that long ago.
I didn't realize that either. This would be good as a movie.
It would.
Yeah, I think so
It's
too.
Brewster Place-ish. Like
Yes,
It
I
is.
agree.
Yeah.
I also
enjoyed it.
want I also want to know what happened to Soup like after because she disappeared. So he really like he caused it, but he really didn't get to see how it really unfolded because I don't recall him being around when the cops were like telling her about it. Um, so and then again, it's like they just disappeared for all he knows. Well, I guess he did see Bub go to jail, right? Because those cops did get him, but I mean, he
He said
doesn't
he
really
wanted to
know.
figure out a way to let her know that he
He
caught
did it right, and he
Yeah.
doesn't get that satisfaction of doing that because she's gone now.
So I figure he moves on to the next victim.
Yeah.
That's
That's a big over there side eye.
I have not liked
somebody who
Soup
does.
since he first came up.
Yeah, it would have to be somebody. His next victim would have to be somebody that didn't live in that building because everybody else knew he was creepy and stayed away from him. Lived in that building,
Except the new people.
right?
So yep, somebody else comes along and rents it, and
Ugh, he was just creepy. The way he was in her apartment and he used Bub to like get closer to her, and he's over there like smelling her clothes and stuff. And I wanted her to catch on to that so bad. Like I wanted her to figure out that he was in that apartment. Those cigarettes were, tip out, and then to look at her blouse and be like, "Why is it wrinkled?" And I could just picture
Well,
him.
she did figure it out. She confronted.
Yeah.
Yeah, she confronted her son, and he admitted that he was in there.
Yeah, but the clothes, I wanted him to know that he was more than just in the living room, like he was in your closet. And she eventually did when she tried to pull up that shirt. She saw the grease stains and or the dirt stains and how wrinkled it was. And she's like, I know I didn't put this in there like that. Like, I'm like, that man is just creepy on another level. It's
So just because I didn't finish, just to backtrack, so the June cop guy, was he like the head honcho? Because when the suit went downtown and then the police sergeant was like, oh no, and by the time he got back, Miss Hedges already knew about, like, who was Miss Hedges that she had pulled like that at the police department?
Junto.
So was that Junto's building or something? Or
I don't know if it was the
Yes,
well,
he
when
owns the building.
Yeah, and when she burned up, that's when he became. Was it one of his buildings that she got burned in?
I think so.
I can't remember. And he was like, he was amazed by the fact that she could get through that small space, and that's when he like, I guess he saw her as some powerful something after that.
Or he felt very guilty about how she got burned.
How she got burned up in that house, and everybody died but her.
Yeah, and he tried to give her money to get plastic surgery and stuff, but she was like, I've been in this hospital too long, I'm not doing it anymore. So he probably felt this connection and obligation to her. But I kept trying to figure out, did they have a romantic relationship?
It seemed like he wanted to, and she said no.
And she right.
I think he wanted to, and she wouldn't.
He stopped it. Yeah.
I was slow. I didn't catch on what Miss Hedges was doing with them girls. I can't like.
It's just a madam.
Is she what I think she is?
She's a madam. Yeah.
Oh,
pimp.
Yeah, PIMP, man. Yeah.
She fell into it. She accidentally. She was like, "Oh, that'll work. You just can't be sitting here waiting for this girl, and you ain't got no money."
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mary, how you gonna agree to this, Mary? How you just gonna let
That's
her
what I said.
I know, right? And maybe she was desperate or something too. Something had to be going on that made her.
She had left her husband. Her husband left her or something. She was. She was a lot like what's her name?
Moody.
Moody. Yeah, she was a lot like Moody.
Because she was already living there when what's her name, Miss Hedges, when Miss Hedges started that. So she was already living there, and then her friend came back to visit while she was
gone.
Yep,
came to see her.
You got to come up with some money to keep seeing her. Like, dang, did you just make her a prostitute? You don't even know it.
So all through this book, we see where women are doing things out of desperation.
Yep.
Yeah. And the worst part to me was that how so many, and I mean, we know it happens, how so many people take advantage of that, or they keep pushing and pushing and pushing them into a corner where they have to do something out of desperation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back then she's writing about, they don't have jobs that pay them enough to, be able to afford the house or the food that they need. And still today, we have places where people, their wages don't cover enough for rent or food or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like, we have got to find a way. This is crazy. It, it was
On and on and
happening, or she could write about it back then, and it's still happening. That
Yeah.
just blows me away.
But we want to say that they chose to be in the situation that they're in. Like, it just gets to be one thing after the other sometimes. I don't remember. Why did she leave? Was it because she was playing with that little boy so much and she was, oh no, somebody called her and told her husband was.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah,
he was entertaining them.
And she used the excuse that the child was sick so that she could leave
her
the
daddy,
house.
her daddy saw the her husband with the other woman.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember. Well, first the guy killed himself in front of her, but
oh yeah, the brother.
The brother.
That was crazy.
On Christmas or whatever.
Christmas Day. And all they could say was, oh, how could he embarrass us like this on Christmas? But money paid for it to be accidental. Instead of embarrassing them for people to know that he had done that.
Then both of them started drinking. The sister and the husband was already a drunk, and the sister started drinking too. I wonder what happened to that little boy. He had a whole different kind of failure. They had money, but the people around him was failing him too.
Yeah.
She didn't really have much of a choice. Like when she chose to go work for the people that she lived with to clean up for them.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going, Amy. A light bulb just went off because Nicole asked if the books were related.
Uh-oh.
Now you piecing them together? See, I asked that question in the group chat.
Wait.
And I'm just clicking. I don't want to give too much, but there is a woman who is not happy in her relationship who
marriage
lives across the but I feel like no, it is Connecticut. Was she in Connecticut with them?
Yeah, she came from Connecticut.
I don't remember if they had the same name, but it was a very similar, you know how the wife was flirting with all the people at the parties and stuff. It turns into a whole thing at the very beginning of the Narrows. I'm like, is that her? I gotta go look and see.
Don't
it's
have
like, is it her story? I gotta go check now. Did she pop up in the Narrows? Hold on, I'm going to Google.
Dun dun dun. Any other thoughts?
I'm gonna have to finish reading the book.
Yeah, it's great. I loved it. I'm sad that I waited so long, like Keila said. We've had this book forever. I knew it was gonna be a book club pick. I try to throw one or two in there that, are older in our book club selection. So it was only a matter of time, but yeah.
It was good. I found this is the one I found at the library, and it was available, and I got all excited. I was like, oh, I won't have to buy it. Okay. Because, typically I buy them. I'm using the library a lot more. So I borrowed the book and I sent it to my Kindle, and it says, you bought this in 2020.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wow.
I was like, oh, well, let me return it.
Right. Yeah. I listened to the audio too. It was pretty good. And the introduction was amazing.
Yeah.
Tayari, that made me so excited because when I read these books and select them, I've read the description. Sometimes my list of books is already planned out like 6 months in advance, right? So when I'm reading it up on it, it's been forever ago. So sometimes I'll just this one, I felt like I kind of went into it blindly because I haven't really looked at it in a while. And so just to hear her description in the introduction and when she read it at Spellman, I was so intrigued. It had me hooked right there in that moment. I was like, oh man, I'm so excited to read this. So yeah, I love that they added that introduction.
And she said they read it after, I think she said it was after Richard Wright.
Yes. Yep.
And I was like, that should have been very interesting because Richard Wright doesn't play games either.
So it's not the same character, but very similar affinity for people who are not their husband. Which is interesting that she wrote white women that way.
Right.
Because that's usually the stereotypical Jezebel that is placed upon Black women. So
on purpose, I'm sure she did that.
She did it on purpose. She had to. Oh, I wish
Did
Amber
Toni
was
Morrison
around so we could talk to her.
Did a Toni Morrison on that one.
I was wishing the same thing, Jess. I was like, I want to talk to her.
You said the name of the other book is what? The Narrows?
The Narrows, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a few of them, but that's the one I'm going to read next.
Oh,
since
this
they
one's
have
up
no
on my
connection.
Kindle. Yeah.
Is it like 4 or 5 books?
I think
Yeah,
4.
few.
I think 4 we had pointed out. The Narrows. What was the other? The 3 of them have the similar cover.
Yeah.
One's Country Place.
Yes, Country Place.
Yeah.
Miss Muriel.
And the Narrows. Yes, Miss Muriel.
I have a different cover.
Also,
Oh, have y'all Googled the different covers of the street? Like when I was trying to make my little October graphic or whatever, and I had to pull the street graphic, like the book, to put on there. Go, if you can, Google all of the different covers. And I think Tayari talks about that in her introduction. But if you go and look at the different adaptions of the covers, it's pretty cool to see.
Dress
yes, the evolution and having the little boy on the front.
That's what my Narrows looks like.
Mine was the one that was like the black and white.
This in the street. This is
the Narrows.
Narrows, yeah.
I don't have the street in physical. But mine had the black, my Kindle version or whichever
has this on there.
Had the cover. Mine had, well, the first time I read it, it was like the bottom half of a little boy's leg and a woman's.
It's like a real picture.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
That's the one I had.
And then this is like the latest adaptation of the cover.
I like that cover.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The street, the Kindle book that I have, it's the Kindle, it's the street and the Narrows together.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I was trying to add those other ones to my Elfster list, but they wouldn't pop up.
That's a good idea, adding the Narrows.
I almost added those today too. Yeah, I might just be getting that little set. I'm surprised it's not in a set. They don't have a collectible.
I didn't see.
I don't know. We do have the 2 together, but
I like sets.
Yeah. Complete.
I like collections.
Same.
Let me see what I can do here.
No, I don't see a set.
Either.
Ooh, there's a rare copy of The Street that costs $400 if anybody wants that. And a $300 Narrows.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
It was good, but not really. Not $300 and $400. Need the library copy of the Kindle copy and be happy.
That's for true collectors.
I'm
a collector, but not like that.
And then people go to look at the book. Don't touch it. That costs $400.
Excuse me. Like what's the old girl from the personal librarian going finding my rare copies of my books.
I'm gonna go to the vintage bookstore and see what I can find. See if they have any of her books. I like the old ones anyway.
She lived a long time.
Who are the favorite characters in the book? My favorite, I like Min. I think she's my favorite character.
She was interesting. Yeah, Bub was interesting too.
Mrs. Hedges was interesting to me. They shared her story.
I don't know if I liked her though.
That's what I'm saying. I like those people. All the people just named, I like them. But I don't know. They were interesting, but I don't know if I liked them.
I mean, I liked Ludi.
I liked her when she jacked Soup up.
Yeah,
they're like
I didn't dislike her. No, I didn't dislike her. No,
I disliked Ludi at the end when she
killed that man.
That man and ditched and left her, abandoned her son.
Yeah, but I just still felt like she she just got
I'm on Zoom.
in a bad like this. She got a not like Savannah, but it's in a bad situation. She just got a really bad situation. She's a good woman. She's just in a bad situation.
No, the way she handled it wasn't so good.
No.
Did y'all know that Ann Petry had a pen name? She went by Arnold Petry and spelled Petry different. Petri. I'm gonna have to look
Probably
into that.
because
I'm just
back
looking at
then,
her
probably because
Wikipedia.
back then women weren't getting no respect.
Yeah. And she did a lot of short stories, children's book, and journalism. So I'm gonna Google that name and see what pops up. Debut novel became the first novel by an African American woman to sell more than 1 million copies. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is, and that only happened because they thought she was a man.
Yeah, right. That's interesting.
I like these covers. This red, yellow, blue, and green. Those are pretty. Yeah, I need these.
I know. It's like I have to buy the physical copy.
Oh yeah, I need these.
Put it on your Elster. Jess, did your house come with that, or did you get that built? Book?
No, that's why I bought it.
The house. That's why she bought the house.
That was the second picture on Redfin, and I was like, "Yep, that's my house. That's my house."
I know. I just want to go on that ladder and just swing like Belle.
It doesn't quite. I mean, you gotta kind of
push it. You put some WD-40, some grease that thing up.
You gotta push, and you gotta make sure the fan is not on, because if you're
gosh,
stop, you
decapitated.
That was what the previous owner said. Make sure the fan is off when you're on that ladder.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that.
So you found
I used it. I got on it today. I mean, like, you really, to get up to those top shelves. You gotta
have to.
Yeah. But you have to make sure it's out. Like, it can't be
folded straight up. Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah.
Have you started counting your books yet?
Have I what?
Have you started counting them?
I told you I did my estimate. So I counted, like, I did 3 shelves, and the estimate of the average number of books per shelf is like 34. And there are 26 shelves.
Wow.
So do you have,
and they're full.
Or by color, the book, like
no. So on this far over, like, you can't even see the other shelf over here. It's all non-African American fiction, and then this column starts at African American fiction up till about right there, and then that starts African American nonfiction, and then it gets just messed up because I got, like, if you can over this way, hold on. Like, that, see all that stuff that's stacked vertical? I gotta find a place. Like, I'm still working on my shelves near the puppies.
No.
I'm working. I got in here on Labor Day and went berserk to the point that I was like, okay, now I gotta pick up all this stuff. Like, it was bad. So I need to purge more though. I did not have all these books when I bought this house. It's like, you get the shelves and you're like, oh, I gotta fill up my shelves. I mean, I had a lot, but I didn't have this.
Wow.
It's bad. I canceled my book of the month subscription today because I was like, I do not need another book.
That part.
Yeah.
You say that, but you keep recommending all them books, Renee.
I don't know, but I'm like, I just get the Kindle. I can't put it.
Most of them, honestly, Libby is clutch now because I do audiobook and the ebook at the same time, and so Libby has really saved me a lot of money doing it that way. So
Libby and Scribd have saved me a lot.
Yeah, I love Scribd.
Scribe. I can't remember.
And they're starting. I know. I've been calling it Scribed, but I've heard a lot of people say Scribd, so I don't know.
I think I always said Scribe. I don't
Scribed. That's what I said too.
Now that I've heard both, I don't remember.
But
it's on their website, whatever they say.
What it says. It's about to be ever something. Everest something. But the thing that I love about that app now is I'm finding newer stuff is coming on there, because usually, like, for them it takes a little bit of time for their audiobooks to come on there. But the other day when I was like, Let Us Descend, and Brittany was on there. I was like,
Oh,
that
Let Us
books
Descend.
just came out
Yeah,
last week.
Brittany
Like,
was on
what?
there.
So I'm in shock.
Well, a lot of people have complained. I know I've been one of those complainers. I wrote them a letter. I was like, if Libby can know what good books are coming out and get them on there, then why can't you do the same thing?
Right. That's it.
And Libby don't charge us nothing.
Right. That part. You just have to get in line. That's all.
Well, your
But-
property taxes pay for those though.
Right. Somebody paying.
Because your library's buying them.
Right.
I wonder how that works.
Scribd. Their website says we pronounce script.
Script.
Scribd. Okay.
I said I was gonna
Scribd.
remember that and I forgot it.
Yeah. Well, it's about to change in a minute.
But so I
think
still,
it's two different platforms. One is going to be for the ebooks, and the other is and magazines and stuff.
Yes, and the other one,
is
yep.
going to be
Yeah.
gonna
But the
do
one we're
audio?
gonna have is like that's something, Everest, Evernote, something. Let me see if I can find it because they just sent an email out again like last week.
so it's basically like a cheap. I feel like this has been answered for me 100 times.
Netflix for audiobooks.
For
Is how I
audio.
learned. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Everend is
And
what
you
it's
can
gonna
just
be.
you can just it at any you don't have to like check it out.
No,
But
you don't have to check it out. You can use them at any point in time. The thing is although they say it's unlimited, it does kind of cap you on books. But since I read a lot of older things, it doesn't do that to me as often. But like for instance, I just read Brittany, so I'm afraid when I read Let Us Descend, it's gonna it kind of locks certain books, and you only have access to certain books, which are typically older ones that they don't care about. But that's mostly what I use it for, anyways, is older ones. So I really don't run into those issues, or I'll buy it if it's something new and I want it. But it saves, like, there's so many books that I have saved. And if you guys want to try like a free trial, I think I can send you through my account like a 60-day or a 30-day or something, so you can at least experience it and see what it is and if you like it.
maybe I'll let my my 90-day Kindle Unlimited expire, and then I'll say, okay, now give me script.
Yeah.
That's me every month, but it's cool. I save my old books for later because I know they're gonna lock me out. So
that's me too. I'm like, okay, I just read Brittany.
It's whatever. Like you're not hurting me. I'm fine. Like
Look, I never not have enough to read.
Right. It's like I always have another way. Like, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm so mad because I delayed Let Us Descend because I was reading The Street. I couldn't hold it, so I delayed it like a week, and it still has not come available to me 7 days later. And I'm like, this is the first time that's happened where the book, I've delayed it and it hasn't delivered like on the day or around the day. No, on Libby. On Libby. Okay. So I'm gonna do the audiobook with Scribd, but I'm waiting on the ebook companion. I have the physical, but y'all know I need my credit for my Kindle reads challenge. So that's why I do the ebooks or whatever. But yeah, it's still not available. So right now I've started The Housemaid so I can knock out another bookmark, but I'm just waiting for it to become available to me. It's driving me nuts. There's like 3 copies though, and I'm first in line, and nobody's finished the book yet. I'm like, come on.
Let Us Descend?
Yes.
I bought that this weekend, but
I go next week. Here.
No, I have 3 copies of it, honestly.
Really?
2 of them came in, they sent me a box set and they sent it twice. And it came with what's the other book? The orange one that she has. Sing Bird Sing. Yeah.
Oh, I read that
they
one.
sent that, and then they sent us, but it was the advanced copy, so the cover is not it's a little different. It's not what you buy in the stores. But then they did send me another hard copy, and I just got it yesterday, of Let Us Descend. It's actually smaller than I thought it would be.
But yeah, it's not that thick.
Yes, and I bought what's that book? Oprah's The Covenant of Waters.
Yeah,
I bought that the same day. That book is like
1,000 pages.
So good.
1,000
pages. Is it 1,000?
No, I'm just
not quite 1,000.
I mean, Love Songs was 800. Is it longer than Love Songs?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, because I just reread Love Songs. And
y'all, my computer stand sits on Love Songs. So
I just reread that one, and I'm like, I'm in love with it even more. So
how long did it take to read that book? That's like 700 pages.
Well, this time I read it with a group of friends, and I gave them a reading guide, so I split it up.
Look, I'm going on a
We read it
year,
in
almost 2
October.
years of not having that book finished.
You're gonna finish it soon.
They
I
read it
think I'm
in a
gonna
month.
start that one Thanksgiving break to
They
allow myself,
read it in a
because
month.
if I read that the entire month of December, I'm gonna be mad that I haven't read any
But
like
it's not. It
Christmas
shouldn't take you a month.
romances.
It's
Take you a month.
Which one are you talking about?
Than me, I've been reading that book for about a year and a half now, or more.
It's a good book. Like,
And I have
Songs
every
boys.
format
the love
of that
songs.
book:
Wait,
hard,
which book?
paperback, audio,
Love songs?
ebook. I've got it all. Yeah, love songs.
I have that.
I mean,
Audio
like
book.
18
Then
days.
go
I have
back
that.
and
I
read
was
the
listening
physical.
to it.
even when I broke it up, some people were saying I just went ahead and just kept reading because it was so good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't not interesting to me. I don't know what happened. I got
You wanted to
distracted by
read other
another book.
stuff.
Yeah, that was it. And once I moved on to something else, I just never came back.
But I always keep like 4 books
Oh,
open
shit.
at the same time. Like I'm never reading one book.
Nope,
So,
never.
I have
That's
to
like
now. I
me.
used
I
to be
just
like
finished
that.
so many books from
Now
last year.
I can't. I have to read one at a time. I can't do it.
I opened my
good limit. 5 is it. I can't do any more than 5.
My
5.
Goodreads the other day
5.
said I have 21 books that I'm
Can't
reading.
even do it. 5.
I'm not. It's
I
just
can barely remember what I ate for breakfast.
Oh,
Never
no,
mind reading 5
I
books at once. Golly. That takes a special
I
talent,
have to
man.
read by my mood.
See, the Kindle challenge has messed me up because I used to at least have 3. I'd have an audio, a Kindle, and a physical. And now I want
Everything
them
is
on Kindle.
ebook.
So now
That's me.
Now I'm kind of like, oh nope, I'm just
Yep. The ebook, I do all ebooks to get the credit, and then the audiobook helps me pace myself, because if I'm reading the book by myself, it'll never get read. I'm telling you, like I started that Jordan Peele one that y'all all were reading, and I read like 2 pages, and it still has not been picked up in like 2 weeks. I can't do the physical. My life is too busy for me to like sit down and read a book. I have to I can only do it for like maybe 30 minutes at a time, but I like am making lunches. I can listen to it at least, then go back to the book, catch up. Like I can go back and forth and multitask, and in the car. So I can't.
But I still have I could have 3 audiobooks going. I mean,
I can't.
Oh man.
I do 2 sometimes. I usually do 2.
It's not. I'm not going to have just one.
Okay, I have a question.
It was like, listen.
We can't hear.
With the Kindle going back and forth, why doesn't it show like what page you're on in the Kindle? Is
it has to be, if you do Audible,
yeah,
it'll sync up the ebook with it wherever you're at. So if you're just listening to the Audible and then you go back to the ebook, it will tell you skip forward to whatever page and it'll sync up. But if you're using some other app, it's not going to do that.
But you know what my trick is? I'll listen to something they say and then I type it in search and then it'll take you to the page.
I do that too.
Like if he says he shut the door, I'll put
thing.
in shut the door and then I know where I am. It helps me get back to the Kindle page.
Y'all keep talking, but I'm about to go get this thing set up because we got 2 minutes. So I'm gonna go send the link in the thing. So y'all can keep talking. I'll be right back.
So what's everyone reading? You know, I need my.
I'm gonna start let us descend now. Because I want to know it when I see Jasmine next week.
I'm gonna start her book probably tomorrow.
I'm about to read another Eric Jerome Dickey book. I miss.
Oh, I haven't read him in a while.
Yeah, I need to
I'm reading one of the old
those.
How many of you have
Haven't
read
seen
this book? I know I saw somebody had already read it.
Read what book?
Jada's book.
Oh, I read
that now.
Yeah, several
I
people
wanted to
have.
read it now, but I
finished
needed
that,
to finish this one.
Yeah, I finished that a
I'm
while.
gonna wait till closer to the discussion to read that one, but I went ahead and bought it.
I just feel like I want to mind my business. I'm like, do I
I don't feel like she told it. I don't even feel like she told that much.
I don't want mine. I want to know.
Yeah, I like reading people's
to me, I was just kind of like,
because I don't have none.
no more. So
Me either.
People be making so much of a fuss over nothing.
Yeah. No.
It's ridiculous because when people were talking, the book wasn't even out yet.
Right.
Well, that was the hype.
Unless you got in advance. But the people who were giving their opinions of the book.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Not read the book. That's the problem. So like, what are you talking about? Like
Keela called me messy because I put Sheila Johnson and Deborah Lee's book next to each other.
Oh, that's what I want.
But that's what
on the shelf beside each
messy.
other.
You got to read
It's
Deborah
messy.
first.
Yeah, you got to read
Deborah's
Deborah
first.
first.
Yeah.
I read Sheila first.
No,
Really?
you
I
got to
read
read
Deborah.
Deborah's first.
Yeah, I read Sheila's first.
You got to
Yeah,
read.
I think it was
liked
because it was
reading Deborah's
available.
first.
You said because it was available. Well, because it came out like months ago.
Mhm.
Deborah's did hers. She got hers out first for whatever reason.
I wonder if Sheila wasn't even about to write one, and then when Deborah got hers, she was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
You're right.
I wondered that too.
I don't know. I mean,
because Deborah's been out for a while.
But it's only been months. It's only been months.
Yeah, because it was earlier this year.
Yeah, it's not.
That
It
was
wasn't
it.
a whole year.
Deborah's?
Yeah, Deborah.
Okay. I felt like it had been a year. Maybe not. Okay.
No, it's been like 3 months.
Okay. Oh, that's
They
it.
had to have been writing it. They had to have been like in the
At the
process.
same time, yeah.
All right, y'all. You ain't got to go home.
But you get to get it done. March 7th. Sheila's book, Deborah's book came out March 7th.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Watch Black Cake.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So move over. I put the link in the chat here too if you want to click over.
Yeah, I'm trying
just to recap, for those joining us and for YouTube, we're doing a Black Cake watch party right now. You have to have Hulu for that. And then our November book of the month is Worthy by Jada Pinkett Smith. So that's what we will be reading next. I heard you guys talking about it a little bit. I've read it already because I couldn't resist, and I loved it. So I'm looking forward to discussing it. She does. I know a lot of people are giving her, flack for all the stuff in the media, but that actually is just like a snippet. Like it doesn't even cover all that she says in the book. I actually learned a lot about her. So it's a good read. So I definitely would recommend reading it. So cool beans. So I'm going to end this. And if y'all want to hop on over to the Black Cake chat, we will get started.
All right. See y'all in a bit.
See y'all later.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Come on.